An institution is defined by its people. At UC, they're the forces that bring to life our boldly Bearcat spirit. Their stories and contributions, individual and collective, have created the place that UC is today and what it will be tomorrow. A 200-year history means much change, growing in numbers, growing in stature, and overcoming barriers along the way.
Yeah, you can go back to the East Coast and Harvard and Yale and the like as some of the earlier institutions. You know, UC in the early 1800s was probably an unheard of thing for an outpost type of city to have.
I just think that's so amazing how we've grown. When I think of arriving here, I think we had 5,000 students.
And it isn't just enrollment numbers that have grown. From a city college to a research powerhouse and pioneer.
You know, I think some of the things that they're doing academically with the new master plan and experiential learning and interdisciplinary studies, we're really poised to, I think, lead some of the kind of new thinking in education.
Many students enrolled at UC because their parents did.
I think we may be on 5 generations now with my son, I'm not so sure. I think the first memory that I have of UC is when I was very young, under 5 years old, driving through the campus with my mom. We had been out doing something, just a mother-daughter trip, and she wanted to drive through UC's campus, and she drove me through, and I remember watching it through the windows. And after that, it was always a treat then to come drive through the university's campus. But that's my first memory of UC.
They came because UC was near home, or because UC was affordable.
When I went to Hughes to high school, my thought was I would go to, no question that I'd go to UC. I couldn't go out of town because my parents were both ill, so I couldn't leave town. And it was a convenient place to go and a very inexpensive place to go. So I believed I would go to UC, and I did go to UC, and it was a wonderful choice.
UC has been a gateway to success, unlocking the potential within generations of Bearcats.
No, I owe a great deal to the University of Cincinnati. I came here as a boy who could not have gone to college otherwise.
Even then, UC offered academic excellence.
I came to UC for some economics courses that I hadn't had in college. I went to a small school in Massachusetts, Amherst College, and they didn't have a full range of courses that I wanted for business.
When I went up to Chicago to do my PhD at the University of Chicago, I was terrified, and I discovered that I was as well prepared here as the students who came from Emory and Harvard and Princeton and the institutions of that sort.
Now, UC offers even more.
To me, they've become more of a world-class university, whereas when I was there, I think it was just a local, kind of understated university.
We've got a university that is sending people to Antarctica, that is looking at the microscopic mechanisms that provide the essence of life. I mean, what can you do beyond that?
While UC offered the opportunity for education to all, some found an opportunity to shape the campus and the community, leaving an impact on integration and civil rights.
I hate to tell you, it didn't help shape me. I shaped them 8 years after I left that campus. I had a call from President Walter's secretary. She said, "Mrs. Spencer, we understand you're speaking derogatorily about us in the city." And I said, "Yes, I am." She said, "Well, he would like to talk with you." I said, "At his earliest convenience. I've waited 8 years." Dr. Walters said to me, "Well," Mrs. Spencer says, "what is it that you're talking about?" And I said, "Well, there was a young lady who came here and lived next door to my neighbor, but she had been accepted to sleep on the campus. And when she got here and they found she was a Negro, she was not admitted. So she's living in the community." Finally, he said, "What do you expect me to do about it?" And I said, "Dr. Walters, you're the administrative executive of this university. I expect you to make changes." And wasn't too long after that, I have my twin sister's daughter came to UC from Washington, D.C. and graduated. She slept on the campus.
In the 1960s, Dwight Tillery helped organize UC's United Black Association.
And we had an opportunity to interview the person we actually, the university actually wound up hiring was Dr. William David Smith, who came in and started putting together the pieces to create the African American Studies Department, which still exists today.
UC has brought countless people into its family. But one thing has not changed. UC faculty, staff, and students form lifelong bonds. For instance, Debbie Denice now helps run a top Hollywood animation studio. Her chief mentor, Jack Rouse at CCM.
Jack was, and still is, to many of us, Uncle Jack. He was the guy that we looked up to, and I think he made CCM, or at least the broadcasting department, what it was. He was so inspirational, and I think he is the person who has had the most impact on my career in my entire life.
Then you have UC coaches, mentoring student athletes in sports and life.
Of course, Ed Jucker, my coach, was a great influence and great friend. We were like father-son, had one of the greatest relationships I've ever had in my life. And he let me be his coach on the floor. And we worked together and collaborated in terms of who should play and who shouldn't play and that sort of thing.
And there's the co-op program.
We started the cooperative program that people can go to work and go to school. And after 5 years, they come out and they worked and they can hit the ground running.
I know for a fact that it prepares students to be ready on day one to do their work, and any employer who's ever hired a UC co-op knows that, and they can't get enough of them.
We now have students from around the world coming in. So it's no longer a city college, it's a national college.
Whatever you take from UC, whether it's a top-flight degree in medicine, engineering, law, design, communications, music, or any of UC's other world-class schools, what University of Cincinnati graduates share is pride.
Everything I am, everything that I have become, I owe to this university.
It hasn't stopped. It's moving, and it's been at the helm of the educational change in this total community. University of Cincinnati is well on its way to consistent approval as one of the best academic institutions in the country.